The representative from Utah, Mr. Owens, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. And I want to first of all thank the witnesses for participating in this very timely use of AI in education. If we want our children and our education to be at the forefront of the world, we need to start adapting the latest technologies for the use in classrooms in a safe and responsible manner. And I look forward to, again, talking with the witnesses about this. It's probably one of the more important conversations we're going to have in a bipartisan way. Dr. Dobrin, one tricky aspect of AI adoption in schools is assessing the cognitive impact. You mentioned that further research might be helpful to understand how AI-generated content and automated problem solving might affect students' ability to think critically. And that highlights a real concern. While it's obviously a rapidly growing field, how does research base tell us so far of AI's impact on critical thinking, and what type of additional research would be helpful?
Thank you for that. And yes, indeed, that, as other witnesses have said, research right now is one of the keys. And what we don't have regarding cognitive development right now is long-term effect research. And we have data that both shows the improvement in critical thinking and problem-solving skills when AI is in use, and we also have data that also shows that some students are turning to the technology to do the work for them. I think that the real key here for educators has a lot to do with demystifying how these technologies actually work. In the conversation we've had thus far, we tend to talk about AI as a single thing. AI does this, AI can do this. AI is an umbrella term for a lot of different kinds of technologies. And so when we start looking specifically at cognitive development, part of what we have to think about is how we're using those various kinds of AIs in various contexts. This is one of the reasons that in my work, and this was also brought up by one of the other witnesses earlier, that I emphasize that this is about augmentation, not automation. All AI requires three things: fantastic computing process, lots of data, and human expertise, what was referred to as human in the loop a moment ago. If we can influence that, then part of what we're inherently influencing also is that role of cognitive development, that the human is the one running the process. That, to me, is where the research has to unfold, is how that expertise gets manifest.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Rafelbear, you highlighted the importance of state autonomy in implementing AI literacy and integrating AI tools into the K-12 education. As AI adoption grows across school systems, how can we ensure that all states can develop the necessary frameworks and support structures to ensure the safe and effective AI integration?
Well, ILA Group has built now two frameworks, one that is been developed for state education agencies and one for district superintendents. That was based off work that we've been doing with a working group of 40 different districts and states across the country. Beyond creating these frameworks, which are grounded within the political, operational, technical, and fiscal realities of AI implementation, and giving department by department questions to start to consider, we've also rolled out a three-tiered process that begins with deep stakeholder engagement. Our belief is that there is no work that should be getting done on AI that isn't starting first with an incredible amount of listening within your community and within your state. We think that you go from that part of the process to developing ethical guardrails and principles based on the kinds of conversations that are coming up in your community, using that to then develop guidance. And then from there, you can go into larger scale optimization. I think what ends up happening so often, though, is that states start to feel pressure, and in turn, districts start to feel pressure that they need to do something. They need to show that they're being responsive. Well-intentioned organizations will provide templates of resources, and then often you'll hear all these data points that, 90% of states have guidance that's up on their websites, but it hasn't trickled down. And it's to the comment that was made earlier about the reality that many parents don't feel like they're even hearing about AI. Well, that's because there's too many templatized guidance and resources being provided without starting with deep stakeholder engagement and listening and bringing these conversations to our communities. We're hearing over and over again from the leading providers that we're moving closer to AGI. Right? The idea that artificial intelligence will have human-like capabilities. That means that we have to be doing even more around stakeholder engagement and communication to make sure that all parents and citizens really understand that.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I just want to, and I'm running out of time here. I just want to say real quick to the point of Department of Education. That ship has sailed. We now have to make sure that innovators like yourself are part of this conversation and not bureaucrats in D.C. And I'm excited about the fact we're finally going to be putting this power back in the hands of parents and school teachers and those in the local level. So I'm excited about that process. With that, I'll yield back.